Good morning. Yesterday I said there'd only be 4 more videos on these next 4 things. I actually was thinking about it just after I shot that video. I was thinking about it more this morning and I thought, you know what, I cannot rob people. There's so much more here. And the difficulty is that for every step in this process of creating habits in your life, there's a little bit more that you need. And to do 3, 5, 6 minute videos for those 4, it wouldn't do it justice. So I'm going to renege on that and I'm going to give you more, okay? What I try to do is under promise and over deliver. So here you go. Today, in preparation for the cue, which I'm going to talk about tomorrow, I will talk about it tomorrow, in preparation for that, I wanted to explain just how our brains work and how we can start setting up the right cues in our lives, how we can get ready to set the right habits in our lives. And there's a bunch of studies and a bunch of research that's been done, and they've taken groups into 3, they've separated people into 3 different groups. And in the first group, they'll try to change a habit. The first group, they'll give them lots of education. The second group, they will start tracking what they're doing, simply measuring what they're doing. And the third is they will start they start off by giving the people a plan. And actually the person has to come up with a plan themselves. That's it. First group education, second group tracking, third group plan. Out of those 3 groups, guess who has the most success with changing their habits? Just think about it for a second. Here are the basic numbers, at least in what I've found, okay? Because there are different research projects and they all have different numbers, but they generally are about the same. People who get educated about something have almost zero difference. There's zero difference made. There's zero progress with habits. What does that tell you? That tells you that simply by reading more books, it's not changing your life most of the time. For the majority of people, there was a negligible change. More information is not what you need. More information is not what you need. I'm going to say it one more time. More information is not what you need. Instead of buying the next program or whatever that simply is a mind dump, integrate other things into your life to change things. Okay. And the second group was the tracking group. Now this group, people who tracked their progress simply by tracking their progress, nothing else, just tracking. Today I did this. Today I did this. I did this. I didn't do this. That's it. There's a little bit of accountability there. All that small difference added up to about a 40% increase. The numbers range between 30 and 50%, but like a 40% increase in changing their habits. So people, simply by keeping accountable, simply by keeping track of what was going on, they had a dramatic increase. But the group that had the biggest increase, the group that did far better than the other groups, was the group that didn't get education, I think they did get education, but they followed that up with a plan. And by putting the plan in place, everything changed. It was something like 80% now. 80% of people now saw an increase in their habits, a change in their habits. They had a plan. They had written down a plan on their own, okay? So I'm going to give you a little bit of a plan that you can start pursuing right now. What I want you to do is for a plan, you need 2 things. You need time and location. Those are the 2 really important aspects. If you think back to SMART goals, and I've told you many times, I don't like SMART goals because who's to tell you what's relevant or what's achievable? That's a difficult thing with SMART goals. Having said that, specific, measurable, time sensitive, those things are very important for setting goals and for setting up a plan. So make things specifically located with location and time, okay? Have a time focus and a location focus. This is how you do it. You make sure that you are aligning other things in your life with the goals that you want to change. For example, if you want to do something twice a day, align it with something else you already do twice a day. I'll give you an example of my own life. I brush and floss my teeth twice a day. I do it first thing in the morning. I do it last thing before I go to bed. So it is anchored. What I've done, this is called anchoring. I've told you cues are kind of like anchors. What anchoring is it ties something that we want to do to the thing that we're already doing. And it's anchoring it to that so that when we do the one thing, it follows that we'll do the other thing, or that they're tied together. Our brains put them in the same categories in our heads, okay? So when I wake up, it's normal now for me to just brush my teeth. When I go to bed, brush my teeth before I go to bed, okay? It starts my day off, ends my day off. Well, every once in a while I brush my teeth at other times in the day, depending on what meetings that I've gotten and other things that are going on. But those 2 are the times that I do it on a consistent basis. Now, once those anchors are set, I can now anchor other things to those. So now I can anchor maybe mindfulness or a meditation or focusing on my goals or other things around those 2 if I want to do it twice in a day, because now brushing my teeth and flossing is already anchored there. Let's say you want to do something 3 times a day. When can you do it? Again, breakfast, lunch, supper. If you want to do something once a day, choose something that happens every day on a consistent basis. But here's a very important thing, and here's where you need to be strategic. Pick a time and location that will work. For example, if you want to start doing push-ups or chin-ups or doing some exercise, going for a walk, it might sound great to do it every day at lunch. But that's not going to work for you if you eat lunch in a different location every day, or if you live in a place that's it's super cold sometimes or super hot sometimes. So you might have to choose a different time or place to do that, okay? If you're traveling and sometimes you're in your vehicle over lunch, well, that's not going to work. So think about it and go, what do I want to change? When is a consistent time that it will work? Time and location, and then tie it to that, okay? Here's the next part of this. The next part of your plan needs to be stacking. Do you remember, I'm dating myself here a little bit, do you remember cassettes and CDs? When you played a cassette or a CD, and CDs later on you could go back and forth with this, so cassettes was the best example here. A record or a cassette, when you put that in, you would play the first song in the album, then it would play the second song, and then the third song, and the fourth song. You couldn't go back and forth between them, especially with cassettes. It was just, you got the order that the record company had set. Now, if you remember this, you will also remember that when one song ended, if you listen to a cassette a lot of times, when one song ended, your mind would remember the next song immediately, and you'd start singing the next song in your head, even before the second song came up. Is that not true? And this is true of a lot of things. When we do something in the same order over and over and over again, if somebody has a certain pattern over and over again, we know what's coming. That is a really important part of our minds, the subconscious part of our minds, that we can utilize to make great habits. So habit stacking, what you do is you stack your habits in an order that works for you, and you put them together. I'm going to use my morning routine as an example. In my morning routine, I wake up and I go and brush my teeth. As soon as I'm done my teeth, I move over and I work on, right now I'm studying a language, I'm studying French, so I work on French for a little bit. As soon as I'm done French, I immediately go into my mindfulness, my meditation. As soon as I'm done my meditation, I go into my goals and my affirmations and I review that stuff. When I'm done all of those things, then I go into my exercise routine. After my exercise routine, I eat breakfast. After I eat breakfast, I go have a shower. After I have a shower, I usually go to work. Okay, that's my current routine, my morning routine. So this is an easy thing that you can do. And I want you to write this out a few times. I want you to write out, I will do this thing at this time in this place. Okay, that's the first part of your plan. But the second part of your plan is to integrate different habits, stack them so that as soon as the first one's done, your mind automatically goes to the second one. It's not a difficult thing. You don't have to remember. You don't have to look at a chart. You don't have to think about it. Don't do the random mix for your iPod with the system, okay? This is a very good system to play in order. And for that, you can write out. I've actually written this out. I say, when I wake up, I go brush my teeth. After I'm done my teeth, I go into the next room and study French. After I'm done with French, I do this. After this, I do this. After I do this, I do this. I write that out a few times. If you write it out even just a few times and practice it, you will start getting this in your head. And once it's there almost forever. I've listened to songs. A song will play on the radio, or some like on the like in a mall or something. I'll hear a song, and if it's a song that I used to have myself in a tape, often when it ends, I will hear the next song in that tape. This is 20, 30 years later. I will hear this in my head. It's still there. And this is a way that you can help yourself, okay? The last thing is that you need the right cue, you need the right anchor to start everything off. So that's going back to what I said, wake up. That's my anchor to start into my morning routine. You can use other things as anchors. For example, I put my kids to bed and I read them stories at night, and after that can be another anchor for me. It actually is another anchor for me, okay? Eating certain food, recording these videos, they can be anchors where I'm doing them on a consistent basis, and as soon as I'm done, I start doing something else. So choose the right cue. Make sure that it's actionable, that you can take action on a consistent basis, and if you do that, you are going to enjoy this process. This sounds maybe contrived, this sounds maybe complex to you. Legitimately, I want you to try this out. Start setting up, and for today, all I want you to do is choose one habit. One habit that you want to integrate, choose a time and a place. And write it out. I'm going to do this at this time in this place. And then try to stack it in a system that works. So choose a cue before it that will allow you to do this immediately afterwards, and then after this, you can stack other things if you so choose. Enjoy putting this together. It's a unique thing. It works completely with the way your brain already works, this will be far less effort and you'll get far more results from this. Write down the plan and start to see more a habit growth in your own life.